We started building the batch, it'd be 1948 or 49. We used to come right here through this gate, down this fence in the middle wasn't there, but you can see the faint wheel tracks, and the batch stood on the highest most point of the hill there. The Moon's batch, that was Jeff Moon and Prof Light, and it's now called Moonlight Batch. That was there, right tucked in the corner down there. Yeah. We were the second batch. The Scandretts invited us to build a batch here. This is the area of the batch, the base. The back was out here, up the hill, and the front looked straight out here. And the actual footprint of the batch was, this is the back of it. You can still see the depression here where we had the tank. And I remember digging that, making it a level platform. And then over the next decade, I guess, between when we were say 10 to 20-ish, they started popping up throughout Scandretts Bay. And the different seasons had different expectations for me. Summer, of course, was boating and swimming and so on. I used to love the August holidays because that was the lambing season, and we were up through rain, hail and shine helping George with the lambing. And I think we were quite useful at that because we only had little wee hands, and George's hands were like sides of pork. They were massive big hands. We very much thought of it as we were going to the farm, not to the beach, although it's surrounded by sea, and we really appreciated that. But that wasn't, we didn't think we were going to the seaside. No, it was the farm. One of the first things I remember is when the milking had finished and the curds were pumped up to the pig pen, and we had this horrible smelly froth on top, and we'd mix it with cow dung pine needles, and we'd have wars with it. We'd each pick sides and go around towards Mullet Point. Oh, that was smelly, that was bad. But of course we'd swim on the way home, so it didn't matter. we were just gangs. We were all together. There was no, it was not just brothers, it was a whole group of us. Yes. Yeah, you had the Scandrett kids on the beach. You had George's kids, Helen and Noel. Yes. You had the kids at Martins Bay. You had kids camping down here in Goldsworthy's. So there was not a shortage of people. I mean, you never felt this is a lonely place. There was people around. Always kids around too, yeah.
Well, I'm Sue Scandrett, or Blake as I am now, and the Robertsons were the second batch to come on our bay. But funnily enough, I arrived after you arrived by the sounds. Yes, we were here a little bit before because you weren't born when we first came. Right. Mm-hmm. And I was the irritating little friend who wanted to play with the big people. Well, I lived in that house down on the corner of the bay, the homestead, the original homestead, and with my two sisters and brother and mother and father. And the Robertsons featured a lot. It's wonderful. They actually helped mould me. I am who I am today because of my association with all the batch people. Well, I learnt something from all of them, and just the fun of having other people to mix with, because remember, we were in isolation here. It was interesting you said you look forward to the influx from Aucklanders. Yes. But it was, I think, equal and opposite, that we looked so much to come up to the farm, as we called it, because it was our life. It was our space, it was our life, and you were all there. And the minute we were out of the car, before it stopped, we were off down the hill to catch up with everyone. But every morning we'd wake up almost before the sun was up with old Tom Scandrett talking to the cows and getting them along the beach into the cow shed, and we were there at the same time, and we'd help
with the milking and with cleaning up and the hosing down afterwards. We'd have to take our billy of milk back up to Mum and a bit of cream. We all had individual cans or basically billies, yeah, pots or whatever with lids on them.
You know, after the milking was done, the cream would have to be taken to the gate, and that involved putting the 2 cream cans, 2 or 3 cream cans, depending on the time of year, onto a sledge, which was pulled by 2 cart horses, 2 Clydesdales, along this road to the farm gate. And that we used to ride on the sledge out to the gate, and then the sledge would drop us off back here, and we'd walk home for breakfast.
They had huge feet, massive animals, but they were so gentle. They were like kittens, in fact. And we were given the job of, we couldn't harness them, putting their collars on and in the shafts of the buckles for the sledge. But we were given the job to drive them up, and we really thought we were driving these huge animals. After we went to work and we started then having babies, and this then became very much like our second home. This is my children, and this is just on the steps of the bach. That's Glenys, my wife. The old pushchair that Glenn used to pull up and down the hills, up and down to the milking shed. It used to collapse occasionally, I remember. And that was taken about 20 feet in front of the bach steps. And we wanted to keep the bach forever. It was never ever going to be left out of the family, but things happened and it became the regional park, which is absolutely wonderful to see it like it is and preserved.